I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
Milton comes just a week after Helene ripped through the same area. And in other parts of the southeast United States, cleanup continues from Helene.
This morning, some landfills are staying open around the clock, trying to clear out the debris before Milton hits, and FEMA is asking for more money to get through hurricane season, but some say the agency would have plenty if it hadn't been so much helping undocumented migrants.
Brandon Lewis from our Verify team went to the border to explain.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says the government's response to Hurricane Helene is stretching FEMA's budget, and it doesn't have enough to make it through hurricane season. Many people and politicians on social responded by claiming the real reason FEMA is running out of money is because it spent $1 billion housing people who are entering the U.S. illegally. Multiple Verify viewers asked us if that's really the reason FEMA is running out of money. So let's verify. Our sources are Homeland Security, FEMA, the Congressional Research Service, the Congressional Budget Office, and the White House.
Yeah.
Homeland Security tells Verify the claims are completely false. Congress funds disaster relief and migrant assistance through 2 different programs under FEMA's control, and lawmakers don't allow the agency to transfer money between them. A Congressional Research Service report from January says during the last 4 fiscal years, Congress gave FEMA's disaster relief fund $175 billion. Separately, Congress allocated roughly $1 billion for migrant assistance. The Shelter and Service Program helps distribute funds to help communities provide services to migrants, such as temporary shelter, food, and urgent medical care. And FEMA says on its website that disaster relief money has not been diverted for other non-disaster related efforts. So, no, FEMA is not running out of disaster relief funds because it spent the money to house people who entered the U.S. illegally. Any additional funding for the disaster relief program would require congressional approval. With your Verify along the U.S.-Mexico border in San Diego, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The 2 video clips that I showed you was just a little reminder of what America was in store for when Joe Biden was running for the presidency, and how he basically said that people should basically just swarm the border and come on in because, you know, they're all asylum seekers. Okay? Something that he encouraged, and that is one of the reasons, and the main reason why America is going through so much with this whole illegal migrant situation. The second thing, the second video I should say that I played was actually put out 4 months ago when people started questioning where were a lot of the funds that FEMA had, where were they going? Because if anyone remembers, Alejandro Mayorkas came and said that they didn't know how, FEMA didn't know how they were going to make it through hurricane season because they were low on funds. Everybody started, raising their voices on that, and all of a sudden they said that they have extra funds. Everybody knows the fiasco with that. It still ended up being that here we are in Trump's presidency, and not blaming Trump, just saying that this is how long it's been going on, that North Carolina still needs help, what's going on in California still needs to be addressed, what's going on in Hawaii still needs to be addressed, but yet the Biden administration wants to basically tell everybody that no, they didn't use any money from FEMA for anything other than those situations, which we all know, okay, at this point in time, all that is false, plain and simple. Okay, that last video clip, like I said, that's from 4 months ago, wherein the president, now that Trump is president, he has put someone in charge, Elon Musk, to run Doge. Well, I should say Marco Rubio, but Elon Musk is doing all the footwork, and it seems as of late, as of today, and actually as of yesterday and today, Elon Musk has put out some information that yes, in fact, FEMA money was used, okay, was allocated taken away from certain programs that FEMA should have funded just to add more money to help out the illegal migrants. Okay, so we're gonna dive into that. I'm gonna play a few clips. There's something I want to read for everybody, to all you lefties out there that are losing your minds over Doge, okay, and all you politicians out there on the left that are losing your minds over Doge. A little fun fact that I found, that because a lot of people are saying that what Trump is doing is unconstitutional. So if it's unconstitutional of what he's doing, I came across some information that I'm going to read out to you guys, that will explain that actually what Trump is doing is well within his rights. Number one, what USAID, okay, was doing was actually, if not against the president's will, it means that Joe Biden and one or two other actors that I will tell you who they are, actually signed off on all the frivolous stuff that USAID was spending money on, like the hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars for DEI and transgenderism spread worldwide. I know it may sound a little confusing. We'll get to it. I'll let you guys know. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. But we're gonna play this. I'm gonna read a couple of articles. I'm gonna show some information that Elon Musk put out, and then we'll take it from there. Here we go.
Stole the FEMA money just like they stole it from a bank so they could give it to their illegal immigrants.
Well, 10 TV political reporter Doug Petcash looked into this for us tonight, and the question being, is FEMA running out of disaster relief funding because it's being spent on undocumented migrants? Doug, what's the answer?
Well, the answer is no, Angela. The administration did not divert money from FEMA's disaster relief fund, but there is a separate fund administered by FEMA that does give hundreds of millions of dollars to help undocumented migrants. The White House pushed back on Trump's claims in a statement saying this is false. The disaster relief fund is specifically appropriated by Congress to prepare for, respond to, recover from, and mitigate impacts of natural disasters. It is completely separate from other grant programs administered by FEMA for DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, that is. And on its website, FEMA said basically the same thing, that no money is being diverted from disaster response needs. That being said, FEMA does administer the separate Shelter and Services Program in partnership with U.S. Customs and Border Protection. That program provides financial support to non-federal entities to help non-citizen migrants. Its budget this year, $640 million. And just last month, 10 TV reported the city of Columbus received a $6.6 million grant through the program to provide shelter for immigrants, refugees, and asylum seekers. City officials say the grant will build upon partnerships and expand the capacity to provide shelter and material assistance for migrants and displaced residents. The city will get the money over 3 years. Now, Springfield, the Ohio city at the center of false claims about immigrants amplified by Trump, did not receive any grant funding through the Shelter and Services Program. In the studio, Doug Petcash.
Okay, now you guys heard all that, right? He said that the money that was allocated was in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay? In the last video, you seen who was in charge of doing the fact checking. One was the White House, one was DHS or whatever, basically all of Biden's minions and Biden himself. Okay, but now that Elon Musk is doing his part with Doge, he's basically going through he's investigating USAID, he's investigating the Treasury Department, and he's investigating FEMA. So now, again, this news clip was put out 4 months ago. Now let's fast forward to now. Now that Elon Musk is on the scene, okay, everything these people just said is not true. Everything points, okay, right to Biden and his minions taking American taxpayers for a ride. Okay, you heard what this man said. It came out to what did he say, 400 or 600 and something million dollars that was allocated just for the migrants, whatever the case is. Meanwhile, how many videos have I done or other people have done where it shows that places like New York, Chicago, and we've heard it from the mayors themselves saying, okay, that it's costing them hundreds of millions to billions of dollars, and that they were going to go to Biden, go to the White House to ask for more help, which means that they actually spent more money. But they're still gonna die on that hill and say, you know what? No, we didn't use any of that money. So if you didn't use any of that money to help out illegals, how come more funding didn't go to the victims in Hawaii, North Carolina, and California? Or how about this? How about you would just end that program to help out illegal migrants, send them back, and put all that money into Americans first? But they didn't want that. They can't have that. They needed their future voter base. And what good is that if their future voter base right now is basically being kicked back out the country? But I'm going to digress on that. Let's get to what Elon Musk put out today, as a matter of fact. Here we go.
Elon Musk has accused the Federal Emergency Management Agency of diverting funds meant for American disaster relief. According to Musk, FEMA sent a staggering $59 million to luxury hotels in New York City to house illegal migrants, a move he says violates the president's executive order and is a gross misuse of taxpayer money. Musk claimed that his Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, recently uncovered the funds and vowed that a clawback demand will be made to recoup the money. This controversy comes as the Trump administration intensifies efforts to overhaul FEMA. Last month, President Trump signed an executive order establishing a council to review the agency amid concerns over political bias. The new directive calls for the council's first meeting within 90 days and requires a report of its findings within 180 days. Trump has been long critical of FEMA, arguing that the agency bungles emergency relief efforts and should either be fundamentally reformed or even dismantled. He has previously denounced FEMA's performance, asserting that federal disaster aid should be given directly to states rather than managed by an inefficient agency. Funding for FEMA has soared in recent years following several high-profile weather disasters, and the agency now faces scrutiny over how it allocates emergency resources. The Trump administration's latest measures are part of a broader strategy to ensure that federal funds are used solely for American disaster relief and to strengthen national security.
For more stories, just...
Okay, that was put out today by the Post. Let's get to Elon Musk on Twitter. Here we go. Okay, what Elon Musk put out today, okay, which was put out, I guess he was retweeting by Robbie Starbuck. Elon put, under Biden, FEMA betrayed the American people by diverting funds meant for natural disasters to pay for luxury hotels for illegal migrants. Now, I clicked on here to bring this up. This is what Robbie Starbuck put out. FEMA. The Department of Homeland Security announces $380 million in additional funding to communities receiving migrants. FEMA. FEMA awards $110 million to the Emergency Food and Shelter Program to assist migrants. FEMA. Department of Homeland Security announces distribution of more than $77 million in congressional funding for communities receiving migrants. Politico. We already know, they found out that Politico got paid through USAID. New York City to get $104.6 million from FEMA for asylum seekers. This is the U.S. Embassy in El Salvador. Department of Homeland Security announces distribution of more than $12 million in funding. FEMA again. Department of Homeland Security announces $300 million in direct funding to communities receiving migrants and $340 million for a new competitive awards process. Now, here's the thing. In the first video that I showed you, okay, the first news reporter said that FEMA allocated $1 billion to go to helping out the migrants. In the last video that I showed you, the news reporter said that FEMA has only given out about, I forgot what he said, about $600 million. Let's just do the math on this right here alone. 340 million plus 300, that's 640. Plus 104, that's 744. Plus another 100, that is 884. Okay, so far. Okay, another 300. How much is that? That's nearly $1,200. I mean, that's nearly, I'm sorry about my math, that's over $1 billion already. Okay, plus another 77 million, plus another 12 million. God only knows how much more. So not only did they say we've only put $1 billion to the side for illegal migrants, just with these here alone that I just pointed out is well over $1 billion. Add on another 59 million. Okay, what's the next article that actually, let me go back just one. If I got this correct, did I go on that one? That was by Robbie Starbuck. Okay, fine. Now everybody's in an uproar saying that no, that's not what Biden did. Okay, and if something came out, of course Biden is going to pull the Obama I didn't know routine. Now Biden is supposed to be in charge of over all these entities, all these agencies, all these programs. He is the one that's supposed to be able to sign off on it. Okay. What kills me is that if this is true, that FEMA just put out an extra 59 million, that means they just went against Trump's orders for FEMA not to put out any more money. And people are upset, especially the Democrats in power are upset what Elon Musk is doing. What Elon Musk is doing is exposing, okay, the corruption, the deep state, the misuse of American taxpayer money. He's exposing how the Democrats are putting others before Americans. That's why they're in an uproar. But yet they're going to come out and say that what Donald Trump and what Elon Musk are doing with Doge is totally unconstitutional. Okay. I came across this article. This was put out by what's this? Rothamus, I guess you pronounce it. Okay. Something that he retweeted that Ron Paul put out, and Ron Paul has always been an advocate about not spending money overseas, spend money in America. But we all know what happened when he tried to run for president years ago. Okay, he was definitely shut down by the deep state. Ron Paul puts out, Doge is ripping through the federal government like a tornado. This morning it has been reported that Doge sent out firing notices to 9,400 USAID employees, leaving only 611. Democratic politicians are furious, of course, but we hope that when it's all said and done, all politicians, Democrat and Republican, are furious with Doge. Then we will know that it was a job well done for the American people. And that's exactly what Trump and Elon Musk are doing. They are pissing off the Democrats and the rhinos and doing one hell of a good job about it because it's exposing them. But that's not what the Democrats want. They are out there protesting every single thing that Trump is doing, and they're protesting Elon on every front because Elon is going to where the paper trail starts. He's going to USAID, he's going to the Treasury Department, he's going to FEMA, he's going to the Board of Education, he's going to every single entity that the Democrats and the rhinos have been funneling money through, American taxpayer money, in the hundreds of billions of dollars. All in the name of democracy, and this is what's best for the American people. Meanwhile, had they kept all that money in the American taxpayers' pockets and or done what the American taxpayers wanted done in their communities in America, we will probably have one of the best countries to live in by far economically for at least 85-90% of the population. Okay, the other 10% will probably be for people that don't want to do better and people trying to run the system, so they're not going to get ahead in life. They're just going to be kicked to the side because all they are is a bunch of crooks. So Americans are suffering while everybody else around the planet, well, I'm not going to say everybody else around the planet, but many people around the planet, that the Democrats and the rhinos are saying that they're helping, they're getting off better than the Americans are. And this is why the Democrats are furious. Okay, there was something else here that I wanted to show. This was just a couple of different posts, but I mean, you guys get the gist of what this is all about. Okay, another thing that came out here. This was put out by Elon Musk, reposted it by Libs of TikTok. More money being spent. Okay, which I'm gonna go back and play this. That it just, you know, is just more and more of what USAID, what the Democrats are doing, what the Biden administration was all about, and it is so much has been coming out. And I mentioned it in one of my videos that there are well over anywhere between 1,000 to 1,200 or maybe more of these programs that were being funded by USAID, and I bring it up for a reason, because I'm going to show you guys the power that the president has to shut USAID down, regardless of what the Democrats are saying. Check this out.
Is an opportunity to have a difficult conversation when it comes to DEIA. There is an avatar, and behind that avatar there is a trained individual who is going to have the conversation. He or she will be able to either elevate the difficulty of the conversation or back down and understand. The time that we're living in is we have conversations that are difficult, specifically dealing with people or differences of opinions. It's important for us as individuals and leaders and service members to have these conversations and allow us to practice having these conversations that are often very difficult to have. This is for airmen, this is for guardians, this is for civilians of all ranks enlisted and officer. It's an opportunity to have...
Okay, now you heard that. That's in response to the fact that Libs of TikTok put out breaking. Doge just terminated a $2.9 million contract for a ridiculous VR training course that taught soldiers how to have difficult conversations about DEI. This is where our money's going. To a leftist agenda that keeps trying to push DEI and transgenderism all around the world and in as many facets of American society as they can, including the military. Okay? But yet the Democrats are saying that what Trump is doing right now and what Elon Musk are doing right now, that it's against the law. It's unconstitutional. Their gravy train is being halted in its tracks. And they don't like it. Now, here's the thing with all this. Okay? I did a little bit of digging. And I encourage people to do the same. I wanted to know more, like, because you keep hearing about, everything that Trump is doing to Elon, what they're doing is unconstitutional. Already, some states already got lawsuits against them, trying to shut all this down. Now, some of it may be shut down in other areas. I'm just saying that as a you never know situation. Okay? But I was watching something that I think it was Steve Bannon that said, if I'm correct, that regardless of what's going on, what Trump is doing, they are uncovering and throwing so much out there that the Democrats are having a hard time grasping it all. So even if the courts shut it down, all that proof is already out there. You can't ignore it. Okay? So then I just started digging a little further, thinking, okay, you know what? Let's just say that is the case. What authority does Trump have as far when it just comes to USAID? So I looked it up. I came across this. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to read something here that caught my attention. That, in all honesty, what Trump is doing is right. Okay, but with that being said, with that in mind, what USAID is doing, it's either one, criminal, okay, or Biden and two other minions, I want to say, are the ones that are responsible for signing off on the billions of dollars to fund all these programs through USAID and supposedly FEMA. And I'll tell you why. I looked up who started USAID. It says, I'm just going to read a little bit from here, but the main thing that I want to show is at the bottom. Okay? It says, let me get my bearing straight right here just for 1 second. Bear with me. It says USAID was established in 1961 by President John F. Kennedy to unite several existing foreign assistance organizations and programs under one agency. Under one agency, statute law places USAID under the direct authority and policy guidance of the Secretary of State. It implements programs in global health, disaster relief, socioeconomic development, environmental protection, democratic governance, and education, with average annual distributions of about $23 billion since 2001. Okay, now, Kennedy passed this through executive order, USAID. Okay, so if he passed it through executive order, that means that the president, excuse me, can basically shut it down through executive order. Something the Democrats don't want nobody to know about. The problem is, if I'm correct, if I'm correct or I'm wrong, somebody leave it in the comments. Once a program is open through executive order, and once that program is shut down, it cannot be reopened. And I think that's why Trump is putting out the word that he wants to shut down the IRS. Because once it's shut down, it's shut down. Once USAID is shut down, it's shut down. That's it. But now here's the thing. Going down here, when I read this, okay, it says, I'm going to read this whole thing so you guys get the gist of it. Congress passed the Foreign Assistance Act on September 4th, 1961, which organized U.S. foreign assistance programs and mandated the creation of an agency to administer economic aid. The goal of this agency was to counter Soviet Union influence during the Cold War and to advance U.S. soft power through socioeconomic development. USAID was subsequently established by the executive order of President John F. Kennedy, who sought to unite existing foreign assistance organizations and programs under one agency. Congress authorizes USAID's programs in the Foreign Assistance Act, which Congress supplements through directions and annual funding, appropriation acts, and other legislation as an official component of U.S. foreign policy. This is where it gets good. Listen to this. USAID operates subject to the guidance of the President, the Secretary of State, and the National Security Council. Which means these three entities right here are the only ones that can give the go-ahead if a program should be funded through USAID or not. USAID does not have the authority to take taxpayer money and do whatever the hell they want to do with it. Which means that Biden, under his watch, if any money was allocated to USAID, Biden, whoever his Secretary of State was, or whoever was part of the National Security Council, they made the decision to fund the DEI programs, the transgender programs, or whatever hell other program through USAID that has done nothing to help out America. Think about that. Only the President, the Secretary of State, and the National Security Council can make the decision to say if somebody in USAID, whoever, whatever it is, basically the President, Secretary of State, National Security Council say, we need you to go to Bosnia and see if they need this, and this. USAID go checks it out, whatever. It's up to the President, Secretary of State, or National Security Council to sign off on it and say, here. If they want to pull it back a month later, they can pull it back. USAID cannot make any decisions with that money. So, the Democrats and the rhinos are upset of what Trump is doing. Trump has the authority to shut down USAID, to shut down all the programs through USAID. Which leaves the question, did Biden take our taxpayer money, or his Secretary of State, or the National Security Council, and lie to the American people just to go fund their DEI and transgender experiments around the world? Yes, they did. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Because only those 3 people, or 2 people and entity, have the right to make decisions how that money is spent. So if the Democrats come out and say, well, it was some rogue program, we didn't know what they were doing with it, bullshit. That's not how it works. And if any of them did, then the Democrats cannot get upset. They have to go along with Trump and say, you know what, since we didn't know, then yes, we have to go on your side to bring that money back, because none of us had a clue what they were doing with it. And even the Democrats cannot say anything about it. Again, I'll read it again. USAID operates subject to the guidance of the President, Secretary of State, and the National Security Council. They made the rules. But it just seems like when it doesn't fit their narrative, or their corruption starts getting exposed, right away, they want to move the goalpost once again. So all this bickering and hollering and what they're doing is unconstitutional, that Trump is putting Elon Musk in charge. Trump put Elon Musk in charge because Trump and Elon Musk are on the same page. They both have the brass balls to go and disrupt all this corruption. Okay? And that's what the Democrats don't want, and the powers that be, and the rhino Republicans. They don't want that. They want that cash cow to keep flowing, and for every American taxpayer, even their own constituents, because there are Democrats that even though they vote Democrat, they are against the DEI and the transgenderism. So for all you people on the left that are voting for this, saying, oh, this is what we want, you're just a very small minority with a very big freaking mouth. That's it. You don't speak for the other 85-90% of taxpayers that want the government to do the right thing with our money. You don't speak for us. And USAID does not speak for us either. Donald Trump is president. He's in charge. He wants to shut it down. That's what he has the power to do. That's it, plain and simple. He is the chief of this country, the president of the United States. And whichever way he sees fit to make sure that that Americans are taken care of first, that's what he's going to do. And that includes all you psycho lefties out there who think that what he's doing is wrong. He's actually doing this to look out for your best interest, my best interest, every American's best interest first. Not everybody else that comes here illegally and everybody else around the world. But that's not good enough for you people. Before I end it, I just want to say one thing. So just keep this in mind. A lot of people have been sending me messages saying they're not getting notifications, and I think I found out what the problem is. So bear with me. I'm going to go just to a random channel. Whenever you go to subscribe, okay, I don't know if I could do it here. Let me see something real quick, just so I can give you guys an idea. I'll go to a channel I'm subscribed to. Okay. Sorry about that. Go to one of their videos. I'm just gonna pause it. Okay, I'm subscribed to them. When let me see if it maybe not. Anyway, right here, when you subscribe, Okay. Some people, because I looked at it on another one of my channels, it shows it that it doesn't say all. Okay. And I'm just asking everybody out there, if you subscribe to my channel, either press all or press personalize, whichever one it is. And what happens is it'll give you the notification for every video I drop. And the reason why I say that is because supposedly the algorithm looks at all my subscribers at their history, what they watch. So if you watch 3 of my videos in a row, chances are it's going to send you a notification for my 4th video. If you watch 3 of my videos in a row and then you go and watch 7 videos from another content creator, you're probably going to get that notification first from that one because you watched that one more. So if you press subscribe to all, you seen what I press to turn black? Okay, personalized. That should be that every time I drop a video, you'll get the notification. I think what a lot of people are doing, they're not pressing that because they think when they do, they're going to get every notification from every channel they're subscribed to. This is what I'm thinking, because I reached out to YouTube again. They're telling me, are your subscribers, do they have subscribed all as far as when it comes to your channel? So I don't know. I'm just putting this out. If that's what it is, look at the subscription back to the channel. Press that, see how it works for a couple of videos. If you start getting all the notifications, then that's probably what the problem was from the beginning. Just saying. So, with all that being said, I hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. Also, I want to thank all my new subscribers here on YouTube and on Rumble. To all the new people, if it's your first time, if you like the content, you want to watch more, subscribe. Give it a thumbs up, everyone. Leave comments. Supposedly that helps out a lot with the algorithm and me getting more views. So remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for the women and the children. Pray for this country. Pray for your enemies. Pray for Donald Trump. And again, pray for all the missing children that have come across the border. Peace.